Thank you, Maria. And thank you all for coming today. The genesis of this project was in September of last year when Catherine and Sabine and I traveled to Germany, and we actually visited the Ravensbrück site. And we had a meeting there with Dr. Matthias Heil, who was the education coordinator for the site. And in our conversation, it came up that they didn't have a traveling exhibit related to that site that supported their site. And so we began discussions to actually create a traveling exhibit that will be based here, but we've also translated this exhibit into German. And if you look over there on the table to my right, you will see a printout of the German version of this. And we're hoping that this exhibit will actually become a traveling exhibit in Germany as well for the memorial site. But we began conversation with Dr. Heil back in September, and that carried over into the spring semester. And this was truly a collaborative work. Dr. Heil sent us all these research materials and images, and all the research materials were in German. So Dr. Smith and her students jumped into the fray very quickly, and they translated everything into English for our students in my class. And then my students took that material and they crafted this exhibit. They went from knowing virtually nothing about the Holocaust and Ravensbrück to knowing a lot about the Holocaust in Ravensbrück in a very short period of time to create this exhibit. But it was really a team effort. I would like to thank Kennesaw State University for its ongoing support of this museum, as well as the Marcus Foundation. This is a really important part of our public history program at Kennesaw State because this is our laboratory. This is where the students get to do this kind of work. So when these students finish this program, they will have curated an exhibit. They will have developed lesson plans to go along with this exhibit. So they've really got some hands-on experience doing public history work when they finish this. It's invaluable. I would also like to thank a number of other people, including my mother. Mom, if you could raise your hand. Not just for being my mom, but she's the best copy editor I know. And she very cheerfully always agrees to read all of our copy here at the museum, so we keep her busy. I'd also like to recognize all of the staff here at the museum, Dr. Catherine Lewis, where are the rest of you? Richard Harker, our Education and Outreach Coordinator, who was a tremendous help to us this semester. He sat in on almost as much of this class as I did, and I was the teacher. And he really helped the students with the lesson plans as well. Julia Brock is here today, our staff curator. Yes, Patricia Mosier, who really coordinated this event today, so I'd like to recognize her. And Tony Howell, who is our traveling exhibits coordinator and manages all of our exhibits as they go out on the road. And also, I'd like to recognize Zoila Torres. Where is Z? Okay, she's in the back. She should get lots of credit for this exhibit because Z managed to take these very fuzzy images that the students and I were able to pull together and really and put them together with the text and came up with the design scheme for this and really made it sing. And so all of the collateral material was designed by her. She does wonderful work for us and really makes our stuff look great. I'd like to recognize Dr. Sabine Smith. Where is Sabine? Yes, stand up, Sabine. Not only was she a great traveling companion back in the fall, but it was really fun to work with her and to work with the German Studies Department this semester and to have, we brought our classes together several times throughout the semester, and it was really a lot of fun to get them all together. I'd also like to thank the German students for their good work this semester. You guys did a marvelous job, especially at the bitter end when you had a very short time period to turn around the translation of the text into German, and you got it done, so that was great. And last but not least, I'd like to recognize the students in my documentation and interpretation class. As I mentioned at the beginning of the semester, none of these students had even heard of Ravensbrück, but they really immersed themselves in the material. And it's a really difficult subject to deal with, but they never flinched. And they took it on, and I think they did a marvelous job with this exhibit, and I'm really proud of them. And now I'd like to recognize Nancy York, one of the student curators, who's going to share her thoughts with us.
Good afternoon, friends and guests. On behalf of the students at the Public History Program at Kennesaw State, I'd like to express our appreciation for the opportunity that we had to co-curate this exhibit. We're very grateful for our interaction with the staff at this museum, the Museum of History and Holocaust, who carefully guided us through the process of creating these panels. And as students, we look forward to a career in public history, and we recognize that these new skills that we acquired are really going to be invaluable to us as we endeavor to become historians ourselves. On a personal note, I'd just like to say that this project, I think, was one of the most rewarding that I have ever worked on. And in particular, the relationships that we developed as a class, it really was a team effort. And when you look at these panels were assigned in groups to students. But there was no border. If we found something that worked for another student, quite often someone would say, I've got something that will be great for your panel. And I was told that that doesn't happen in other departments. So I think this was a really great experience for us. For the past 4 months, we have immersed ourselves in the lives of the women of Ravensbrück. We have become acquainted with the details of their daily lives and their struggles to survive. Most moving was our discovery of how these women kept hope alive during one of the darkest periods of history. As these panels go out into the community, it is our desire that those who view them will not only gain an understanding of the struggles of the women of Ravensbrück, but that each viewer will consider their own responsibility to be part of a solution that guarantees that this episode in history will not be allowed to occur again. Mother Teresa said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." It is our hope that those who contemplate these panels will create ripples of their own. Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone. Would that every museum had the kind of rich resources that we have here at Kennesaw and all of the energy. I also wanted to recognize Sally Levine. Sally, I'm going to call you out here. Sally Levine from the Bremen and then from the USHMM, the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., is a wonderful partner with us, and we've been talking about the Summer Institute that the Bremen's doing this year, and we're hoping that we get the Ravensbrück exhibit to be part of that, and I'm going to come down and teach a section on women in the Holocaust. So you see the many ways that our exhibits get into the community, how we use them both intellectually, how we use them with K through 12, how we use them through public programming, really a lot of opportunities. I also want to recognize Dennis Ruggiero. Dennis over here. I'm going to make you stand up. Sorry, Dennis. You know if you're in the audience. Dennis is a theology professor and teaches the Holocaust at St. Pius X High School and has been our past board chair and is a wonderful partner. So we have so many friends, and really it feels like family here. So I want to close the program with just a couple things. You will see we had many of the students stand up like Nancy, and you'll see their name tags. They will be available to talk with you about the exhibit, and we'll hang around while we do a reception with some lemonade and cookies. So feel free to engage them and ask them questions. We also have a film in our theater. If you're walking down and sort of back out toward the east entrance, please feel free to stop and watch. There's about, what would you say, Richard, about a 13-minute segment on Ravensbrück that offers some really valuable context. And we also invite you to friend us on Facebook and Twitter. That is a great way to stay in touch with us. We do a lot of wonderful programs, not just in the Museum of History and Holocaust Education, but in our art museum, in our rare books room, in the galleries, just sort of across the university. So please stay for a little bit, read the exhibits, enjoy the hospitality, and also consider, if you're at a community center or a museum or a school, consider asking us for one of our traveling exhibits. We'd be delighted to have it out for you. So again, a round of applause for everyone who worked on the project, and thank you for coming.